Today's Torah portion was called Metsora, which is the Hebrew word for a leper. Of course, it was from Leviticus 14, verse 2, and it shall be the law of the leper, that's the word Metsora, in the day of his cleansing. So that word cleansing there is the word tahora. Does that sound kind of similar to something some of you might know? No, not Torah, but you guys know the word tahor? No, that's the word for clean, like clean animals or, a lot of things from Leviticus. And we kind of tend to think purely in a ceremonial type situations. But remember, I was kind of teaching that you can go back to more natural or concrete things. So let's look at some verses where it's a little more concrete. So in Job 28:19, it's called pure gold. So that's gold, that's tahor. All right. Another verse where it's pure gold. So there's more tahor, gold. And in Psalm 12, verse 6, it says the words of the Lord are pure words. That's the word tahor too. And you can see it's compared to, that's even being compared to silver refined in a furnace. So it's kind of neat to see all these words tahor, like pure, being associated with gold or being refined. In Psalm 51, verse 10, it says, create me a clean heart. So that's the word tahor as well. If y'all didn't know that, like a tahor heart, clean heart, pure heart. Same as like a clean animal, so tahor. And in modern Hebrew, if you go to Israel somewhere, you might see something like this. So this is a jar of honey. And in that brown square, it says davash tahor. So davash is honey and tahor is pure, so pure honey. So it's just kind of neat to see these ancient words showing up in modern day places in our everyday lives type thing. So what about the opposite of that? Like unclean, right? So that's the word tameh, tahor and tameh, clean and unclean. And tum'ah would be the word for uncleanness. And, that seems kind of abstract, especially with the way we think of it, like clean versus unclean. I was debating if I should put this verse in here, but it's just kind of like an opposite to tahor. So you could see it's God's talking about a judgment he's going to bring. And it says, then set it empty on its coals, that it may be hot, and its brass may burn, and that its filthiness, that's the word tum'ah, that's the word generally translated uncleanness, but it's translated filthiness, defile, defilement, pollution, pollute, that it may be molten, that its rust may be consumed. So you could see, it's related to filthiness, and it's even interesting that it's compared to rust, or some translations say corrosion, or even like scum. So you could see that comparison there. It's from tameh, tahor, clean, unclean. It's more than just some ceremonial type clean and uncleanness. So that's it in the natural. And then we have the word plague. There's a few different words translated plague, and this one's kind of interesting because this word for plague here is the word nega. And nega comes from the word naga, which means to touch something. Kind of the idea is like to touch or to hit, to strike type of deal. So some say that being used as a plague might be like a touch from God, like something God, when he used, the finger of God, when he touches something and it could do some miraculous or even a bad thing like a plague. So just some interesting things I saw today. That's it. Shabbat Shalom.